Hello and welcome everybody to the Connect Show, where we share stories from small business owners and where we help our small business owners out. This is season number 3, episode 47. And according to John, we are approaching 100 very closely.
Very cool.
And we are very excited and brave, being so brave. I'm trying to read my writing so your business can grow. My name is Tracy, and I am the owner of Small Business Milwaukee, where we do digital marketing, website design, all the digital marketing things. And this is my co-host today, Kim Knock and Ben Palmer.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, everybody. I am Kim Knock. My business is Opportunities Knocking. I do digital marketing from food trucks to all kinds of crazy stuff, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, all of the things. Google My Business is also big on my list.
Yes.
And Pinterest. So how was your weekend this weekend? Did you do anything fun, crazy, amazing?
I made a lot of lasagna.
Oh, and you don't even eat it.
I don't.
That's crazy.
But I did eat the pasta and the sauce that I made.
I enjoyed it.
Because the sauce takes like a whole day to make in itself.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I want to try it now.
Yeah, there's a whole pan of it sitting in my fridge.
She promised me this lasagna once before. And we also have Ben Palmer with us today. Ben,
Hello.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, Ben Palmer. By day, I do logistics, working with a local company here in Milwaukee, Direct Drive Logistics, helping manufacturing and companies in Wisconsin move product locally, nationally, internationally. But for the last 12 years, I've had a company called Think Local, supporting small businesses really with a passion to go, how do we help them share their story? And that's something that the Connect Show, it's so exciting to go, it's all about knowing people and their story and their backstory. So excited to be here.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us today. We have to thank our hosting sponsor, Expansive Workspace, where we broadcast the Connect Show live every Tuesday at 10 a.m. out of John's Studio A5. Expansive is a great place to work, and we love the community. If you are interested, we're in the Tosa location. There's also a location downtown Milwaukee. You can visit at expansive.com for all locations and details.
Always, we're very thankful that you have come to watch. You're watching it a month or two from now. We love that also. If you have a topic you think we should be discussing, email us at ideas@theconnectshow.com.
That's great. Today, we're excited to welcome our guests, Samantha Bushman and Aaron Zimbars Gagnon. I'm sorry about that. Cheese, traveling, and websites. It's going to be exciting. We've got a lot of great stuff to talk about.
The Connect Show is better when it's interactive. So if you're watching this, share it live with whatever stream you're watching it on. We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube every week. Or if you're catching it later and you know somebody that might be interested or find value in something we talked about today, comment, share it with them. We will, if you have any comments right now, go ahead and put them on. John will let us know who's talking to us and where you're coming from. It's a great opportunity to get expert advice and watch your business grow.
And thanks again to our last week's guests, Emily Fell and Nathan Fear, did he say? I think he said Fear. Shining and software to corral UGC user-generated content. Really, is there anything better? It was really a good show last week. I wasn't on it, but I was watching it from behind the scenes, and there was a lot of interesting stuff. And Nathan really... he goes way back to knowing Mitch when Mitch was on the show.
Oh, yeah.
They're like high school buddies or something.
That's cool.
And he's got like a theater background and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that was really interesting to see a good friend of Mitch's.
Yeah, that was.
To learn about
Absolutely. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
We're all volunteers here on the Connect Show. So if you like the show and would like to get involved, please email ideas@theconnectshow.com. And thank you, everyone, for being involved, even to those who contribute via chat. We're all in this together. Let's hear from our volunteers, or John. Do we have...
John, are we in on this?
Nope.
Yeah.
Moving on. We're moving on to the quote of the day. Ask for what you want and be prepared to get it, from Maya Angelou. Ask for what you want and be prepared.
You have to be prepared for what you want. before you can really kind of ask for it.
Or it could throw you into a tailspin.
Well, you
Yeah.
need
When
to
you actually-
start
when it comes
that
your way.
prep work, and it takes a lot of work and planning to be like, what do I want? I have to go for it. But prepare, get ready, and then ask for it, go for it, and watch what can happen.
Yeah, because if you start going for it, you're not prepared for it. Oh, you're gonna miss that opportunity. That's gonna be yucky.
Opportunities have slid right on past.
Opportunity.
It's
They have.
knocking.
But they're knocking.
So we're off to our question of the day, and this question is a thinker, and it's a little bit of a long one. So put your listening ears on. What do you think is harder, asking for what you want for your business from another company or partner to help your business grow, or finding a way to do it yourself? And what was one thing you wish you asked for sooner?
Everyone looks at me.
Yeah.
So that means I have to go first.
Because we know that you're already thinking over there.
I'm always thinking. So I think I like the partnership to learn, because I want to bring things in always, and I'm always happy to partner with other people, but I want to learn the process too. I've learned along the way that there are things that I don't want to learn, and that's fine. And then you just hire people out for the things you don't want to learn. But I really want to know the hows and whys of a lot of stuff. And I think it's very hard to ask for partnership, because we're going to bring in my hashtag collaboration, not competition. There are so many social media people out there that are like, oh my God, no, that's mine. Oh my God, no, that's mine. But if you find a way to work together and work on your strengths, you can build something freaking amazing.
Right.
And so it's hard to ask, but once you kind of get there and learn that ask and are introduced to the right people, it works out really well, I think.
I think there's like certain things that you should be observing other partners or companies for, but then finding your own specific thing that makes your business your own,
Unique.
and doing that yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of things that you and I can do overlap, but we've still found the most amazing ways to collaborate on things and not have to be territorial about something.
Right.
And I think it works out really, really well. And we'll find out even more because we have another social media person in here today, and we work with her too. So it works out really, really well, I think. I wish I asked for sooner. We're going to wait for that and let you guys answer the first part first.
I think for me, when I saw this question, I looked at it from what can I do? Like sometimes you have to get busy. You don't have the budget. You're like, I need to learn this, do this, act fast on it. And it strengthens you as a person, as a business, and allows you to be more capable. If you have partners you can walk next to and learn with and go, I want to learn this. Like you said, otherwise there's things that, what do I wish I asked for sooner? To me, it was like the digital marketing. We were a marketing company, wanted to promote people. You can do so many things in marketing and it's endless. You try to learn everything, be the expert in everything. But the reality is other people are really strong in other areas, and allows you, if you can partner up with that company, you can focus on your niche and strength. And it's exciting to go, what are the things I do need to learn? What can I learn? And where do I need to bring in the pros?
I think expense falls into that too. Like with digital marketing, could Tracy and I both say, oh my gosh, we have to have all this amazing video equipment like John has, and videos where it's at with digital marketing, and we got to do that? No, why not partner with John, make it happen, instead of spending all that extra money on something you could work with someone with that already has put the investment in. And I'm just using video because we're sitting in front of cameras, but
there's a lot of equipment.
Right. How about you, Tracy?
I don't know about what would be the wish I would have asked for sooner. I'd have to think on that one a little bit, because I didn't really ask too many other companies or partners or anybody about things on how to grow. I did more observing, like watching them and learning from them that way, and then trying to figure out if I wanted to do that for myself or not.
You said something before the show I think you should elaborate on, is like the network, introducing to people.
If I knew all the people that I was going to know 10 years from now, right now, that would be great.
That would be so helpful. And
let's just jump forward.
Hey, what are some great networking events to go to? Or where can I meet some of the best people to help?
Because the people have really been the most
That's-
interesting, crucial part of building your business.
I agree.
Talked about that before, Tracy,
Yeah.
where it's just network,
Mhm.
network. Just get to know people, get to know them really well, help them, they'll help you, and how that goes back and forth. So
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. I think that's where I would have asked for sooner. Like, let's introduce to integral people in my area that we can just learn and grow from. So we're going to ask John if there's anything going on in the chat. He'll let us know. I can't really see him. We got a thumbs down, so we are going to move
someone
on.
put something in the chat.
Tracy.
Oh, that's me. And I think we're ready for our first special small biz segment today with Heike.
Awesome. Welcome to another edition of Heike's LinkedIn Insights. Welcome to another edition of Heike's LinkedIn Insights. Today, let's talk about the headline of your personal profile. As a small business owner, you need to be visible. And when your profile comes up in search, based on hopefully the keywords you have in your search, in your profile, then your headline is a crucial component to determine whether someone's going to click through and learn more about you and potentially reach out to you as a potential client. So what first shows up in your profile is your headshot, which is very important. We talked about that in the previous episode, so make sure to go back to that. And then, of course, your headline. The headline automatically defaults to your current title in your experience section. And that can be rather boring. It could be owner, it could be CPA, it could be personal trainer. Whatever it is, don't leave it just at that. Make sure to customize. So, for instance, I pulled out a couple of actual headlines that I found on LinkedIn. One of them is CPA for entrepreneurs and startups, QuickBooks Pro Advisor, Zero Partner, and Zen Payroll. What do I like about that? It tells me not just that this person is a CPA, but who the target market is. That is a crucial component of your headline. So in this case, it's a CPA for entrepreneurs and startups. They're not looking for clients that are Fortune 500 companies. And then it tells me what kinds of software they work with, QuickBooks, Clio, Zen Payroll, etc. So that's a great headline. Different industry, kitchen and bath renovations, new door and window installations, insurance claim processing for disaster recovery, and full rehabs for homeowners. That's a great headline. You know exactly who this person's talking to, homeowners, and exactly what they're specialized on. It doesn't say owner of a home renovation company. That would just not get anybody to open their profile, but this headline will. So make sure that your headline really speaks to your client and what it is they're looking for. So who you're talking to, what problems you solve, and potentially what pain you help them avoid. So an example I use often is a personal trainer who helps women slim down after pregnancy. Well, most women hate sit-ups. So you could say, I help women after pregnancy slim down without sit-ups. So whatever your specialty is, let them know. Customize your headline. And if you are looking for more tips on LinkedIn, check previous episodes and future episodes of Heike's LinkedIn Insights. You can also find me online. And of course, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn.
Well, that is great, Heike, and thank you for that advice. I can definitely take some pointers from that. So today I want to introduce Sam Bushman, also known as Wisconsin Cheese Queen, began traveling throughout Wisconsin looking for the best cheese curds. These days, she's traveling all over the U.S. with her pup looking for good food and the best hiking trails. She is leaving for her next trip on September 1st.
Sam thinks a lot of people suffer from imposter syndrome, herself included. She has been trying to remind herself to just ask for things when it comes to her business. She pitched a hefty deal that she never thought would happen, but they ended up saying yes. Had she not asked, she would not have gotten it. Her one tip, just go for it.
That's awesome. Well, welcome, Samantha, to the show. Referring back to the question, what do you think is harder? Asking for what you want for your business from another company, or partner to help your business grow, or finding a way to do it yourself? And
I mean, I think they're both pretty hard.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's definitely asking for help from another company. I kind of mentioned that, and when I said asking for, the hefty deal, I don't consider myself a salesperson by any means. I've always been like, no, thank you. But doing what I do now, kind of consulting for social media and whatnot, that's all I have to do is pitch and ask for help. And there's a lot of things that I've learned throughout the past couple of years that I definitely could have done better or faster or easier had I just asked for some help.
Yeah.
What's one thing you wish you asked for sooner?
There's a lot of things. In terms of like the business side of things now, like I create, contracts with people or the companies that I work with and photo licensings and things of that nature. I didn't know about any of that. I was just kind of figuring it out as I went. And I realized throughout the process that there were things that I was doing wrong, and I wish I would have asked for, help in the beginning to, sit down with somebody and really figure out what that looks like instead of trying to just Google my way through it. But, lesson learned.
Google does everything, right?
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
they? I mean, what is one person that you want to do a cheese curd review with?
Charlie Barron's, Manitowoc Minute, Charlie Barron's. He follows me on Instagram. We've already gone back and forth, but it just hasn't happened yet. So fingers crossed that one day that.
What about Charlie makes you want to do?
I mean, he's just like the epitome of Wisconsin.
Yes.
Yeah. And what's more Wisconsin than eating cheese curds?
Right.
So, he's hilarious, and I just think it would be a good time.
Could you imagine throwing some comedy in the cheese pull? I don't even know. I don't even know.
I'm sure he would make it just the most entertaining thing. So
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Well, there you go, Charlie.
Good answer. That is a good answer. Someone tag him.
Tag him in here.
I tag him all the time. Trust me.
So, and then what makes a good cheese curd? And what do you look for? And before we get into that, tell me some of the backstory.
Sure.
Tell me, like, how did this begin?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right?
Awesome.
So when COVID hit, I was working for a restaurant franchise out of Milwaukee and in human resources. They basically laid off everybody in the office. So I was unemployed. But I still wanted to figure out a way to continue to help small businesses, restaurants specifically, because that was kind of where I was at that point. So I decided once a week I was going to eat out and I was going to rate cheese curds. And I started posting videos on YouTube. It was very on a whim. There was no thought behind it by any means, but it's just kind of spiraled since then. And now I work with different restaurants. I travel, all over the state of Wisconsin, work with different tourism boards and chamber of commerces and things of that nature to promote not only cheese curds, but just their towns and cities as a whole.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Like a cheese curd brought you a total life-changing moment, right?
It's crazy. Yeah.
That's insane.
I'll give you a ton of credit because one of the hard things to do is create content for people. And that's the thing that can help them and go, I just want to do something nice for you and share. You've put so much work into this. I want to help share it.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
So what makes a good cheese curd?
So we rate for, cheese, breading, sauce, and then overall score. So they get 4 different ratings on a scale from 1 to 10. So we want it to be a good cheese. It's got to have a good melt, good cheese pull consistency. Good bread to cheese ratio, not too greasy. I like them crispy, so no mushy cheese curds around here. And then sauce is important too. That can make or break a cheese curd. Ranch is typically my go-to, but I love any unique sauce, the house sauces and things like that restaurants come up with. So those usually get the higher ratings.
Do you have an absolute favorite, or is that favoring a child?
It's been hard, honestly, as I've hit 250 cheese curds this last weekend.
Wow.
So it's been difficult to really put them in order. I have a huge list on my website, a Excel spreadsheet essentially with all of the ratings and all the different places that I've gone to. But it's been hard. My favorite right now is Bonfire Grill in Madison. They've got Chipotle ranch that they serve it with, and it was just the perfect cheese curd. In the Milwaukee area, I love Dairyland in the 3rd Street Market Hall.
Oh, they're fabulous.
They're up there.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us today. Do you have an event or an offer you'd like to share with our audience?
I mean, just follow along. Like you mentioned, I'm leaving for a RV trip with my dog September 1st for God knows how long, just traveling through the US. So just following along and giving me suggestions for places to go and places to eat. That's all I can hope for.
Tell Samantha where the cheese curds are
Yes.
at throughout the United States. She needs
Yeah.
help because some states are going to be like, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah. I've been there.
What is a cheese
It's
curd?
sad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sad moment.
Yes,
We
no.
do have a page so that you can
Yep.
connect with Samantha. It is theconnectshow.com/Samantha Bushman. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you for
today.
having me.
I look forward to watching your upcoming trip. So
It's going to be exciting.
It is.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I think we're ready for our second special small business segment of the day with Charlene. So here we go.
Thanks, bud. Hey, I'm Charlene Osterling, and I am the innovator and creative mind behind A Stupid Good World, Stupid Good Food, and the Where You're At brand clothing line. I am so grateful to be here to give you a segment on what I call the evolution of change. So what that means is I am going to interview kind of on the fly business owners who have figured out how to be purposeful, not just make money with their business, but be purposeful and leave a legacy that serves not only their life, their purpose, and what they love, but the greater good. So I will be on the road interviewing people that I find that will inspire not only myself, but everyone out there who owns a business to look a little bit deeper than just the financial, to look a little bit deeper to answer the question of the day and live the quote of the day. The Connect Show is an amazing place for business owners. And just like the guest we just had who eats cheese for a living now, well, maybe not for a living, but it just goes to show you that there's nothing that you can't do when you put your mind to it. And why not do it for a living and then leave a legacy, creating your purpose along the way?
absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Charlene. So happy to have her back. She's been guest co-host, and now we're going to get to see her consistently right along with Heike. So thank you. Thank you. I'm still wondering a little bit how Tracy's feeling about all the cheese talk. Tracy hates cheese. So
What?
I know.
We're going to come back to that one.
I think it's great. Up next, we have guest Erin. Erin started her passion over a decade ago. She worked in the nonprofit world in the events department. She then worked in marketing and sales for a fitness gym side by side with the owner and general manager. That relationship allowed her to do freelance work as she traveled, being a military spouse.
Erin spent several years working as a veterinary specialty hospital veterinary specialty hospital, providing marketing and communication services. Most recently, she has been the director of communications for Wisconsin Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Mm-hmm. So welcome, Erin.
Thank you.
Welcome. We are going to refer back to the audience question, which is not correct on there. What we're going to go back to the partner. You remember it? We're good.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to the partnerships and
do it yourself.
Give us your thoughts.
Ask
Do it
for
yourself.
help.
Definitely a do-it-yourself person.
Mhm.
I'm that person. There's a problem, I solve it. So I am immediately like opening a book or researching. So for me, asking for help is like a whole new level. So I think that's the one thing I needed to do in the beginning. Like paperwork for starting a business was terrifying. To me.
Awful,
I'm like,
right?
government paperwork, like just this huge scary thing. And once I finally asked for help, I was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
didn't need to be this big deal.
Somebody can manage this for me, and,
right.
and I can just focus.
yeah. It's really not that scary. So I think asking for help is a really big thing. And you can do it yourself, depending on, I think, your stress level, your time. If you really want to learn about it, go ahead and research it. But also don't be afraid to get a second opinion and maybe hire help. So
I think that's one thing we learn as small business owners, startups, that we're going to ask for help a lot more frequently than someone of a large corporation. And they may just decide I'm going to pay for someone to do it, or they might have their employees sit there for 42 hours and make something happen. But we have to learn in a space to figure out how to do this. And at first it's so difficult to ask, but I think it maybe becomes a little easier for us. Maybe.
Hopefully. Hopefully. We
That's the goal.
shouldn't fear asking for help.
Right.
So, Erin, one thing that we're looking at with social media, we're all looking, we create content, we get out there, but how can we improve our social media?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure, Kim, you also have great advice too for this. But I think for me, a lot of people, they post, but they don't really see what they're posting. It's more about, quality over quantity. And so are you actually giving the person following you quality? Like, are they going to learn something from your page? Is there something that they can take away? Maybe it's humor for the day, or maybe it's actually like advice on something. And then are you engaging? So you can't just post something and then just walk away from your social media. Are you following other pages? Are you actually engaged with your community and sharing content of, followers? Are you commenting back if people are commenting on your post?
Right.
So you can't just post and let it go. You
Post
have
and
to.
ghost.
Right. I like that.
Post
yes,
and ghost,
exactly.
yes.
So
I think
you
I'm
have to be
notorious.
engaging too.
Mhm.
So
I think it's, when I look at our social media, I feel like I've made so many mistakes because we're trying to wear so many hats.
Right.
And that's where you look at how to bring the help in, because it's like sometimes you're strong on posting and falling behind on engagement. And sometimes you're like, well, I'm struggling to get the post.
You might be great at creating the content, but not great at the interaction portion of it. And
but it is neat to kind of talk through it and go, what do we need to do? And how do we stay at it in those reminders?
yeah, and sometimes even you might not be on the right platform. And you might have to change platforms too, and be willing to say, well, I might be more comfortable with Instagram, but my target market is actually going to be more on LinkedIn or something like that. So you have to understand that your comfort level might not always be the platform that your target market's going to be on. And you have to learn that or hire somebody.
amazing tip.
Yeah.
Amazing. So what can I do to help improve my online presence?
Good question. So I think one of the biggest things, and you mentioned it too, just the easiest way to start is make sure that your page has a Google My Business account. It's super quick, it's free. And just think about when you're Google searching and you have a business pop up and they have that nice, beautiful right side and it shows, the click for call, website direction, they have their hours, they have photos, there's reviews. How much more comfortable are you willing to go to them versus just a page that you have to scroll to find?
Facebook is the only thing that pops up.
Exactly.
Yes.
So take those few minutes, get a Google My Business page going. It's free. And then once you have one, make sure you update it. They offer so much free stuff to do. I mean, you can add your services for free. You can set up appointments for free. You can do posts for free and events. I mean, there's so many things that you can do to make people stay on that page and kind of look at you and say, oh, wow, this place, there's a lot going on. Oh, I see they have this services. And then probably end up at least calling you or visiting your website. So I think that's the first step, is making sure that your Google presence is there. It exists. And then from there, figuring out what social media platform you want to start with. A lot of people want to start with all of them at the same time. And I think start with one and learn to see, is this where my target market is? And start going from there for, you want quality over quantity content. And be consistent. And lastly, be comfortable that you are your brand. So you're going to have to start getting behind that camera, and that's okay. You are your brand. Show your pride that, like, this is mine.
Yes.
And start creating videos. Start sharing your life as creating this business. And a lot of people will love that because they might share something with you.
Absolutely.
So
That's one
my
thing I
advice.
definitely fail at with the food truck website. No one knows that I'm behind it.
Right.
It's like a ghost running it. I do not put videos of myself on there, nothing like that. So, but I do agree with you 1,000% that people want to know it's a real person. It's not a robot doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
For the platforms, what platforms and how do we prioritize? Because and it's like, and what are kind of some of the demographics? When do we emphasize LinkedIn? When does Instagram take over Facebook? just
TikTok.
just a little
There's so many.
talk on that.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think every digital marketing place kind of has a niche that they focus on. We had some great LinkedIn advice earlier, but I think that, I work with an automation company, and they're going to be talking with a lot of the decision makers because automation is very expensive. So LinkedIn is one of the best platforms for them. And they've been seeing so much, success of just working with LinkedIn, sharing videos of the robots and what they're doing. And a lot of companies being like, this is really cool. Like, this could help us,
Right.
and the decision makers are on LinkedIn. So it's a win-win. But, someone who I worked with, she might be taboo, but she has period underwear. So that's not going to be LinkedIn. She's going to want to do more TikTok and Instagram and make sure she's on those reels and on TikTok and kind of talking about these things. And, she might want to consider Pinterest, but that is a whole other breed, So it's understanding kind of where do you want to take your brand and that who you want to talk to and then talk to them. And don't be afraid if your brand is like, if you're like, well, I'm older, I don't know if I'm going to fit on TikTok, but what are you selling? Does it fit on TikTok? Do you think that demographic is going to work? Then get on TikTok. It's okay,
I love it. I love it. It really depends on your market. You got to find where your target audience is. It's not a one size fits all,
right,
for anything.
And it's nice to talk with people like you to go, where do I belong? And how do, help me understand my niche. So Erin, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Today.
Yeah.
It's excited to learn about your company. Do you have any special offers for the audience or an upcoming event or anything you want to share? Well, you can find Erin and connect with her at theconnectshow.com. Your name. Why don't you do that one?
John is going to put it on the screen.
Yeah.
So it's on there.
I do have to say, so my name is hyphenated, and when you fly, they remove the hyphen, so they put the two names together. That's really entertaining to watch people pronounce that. So yeah, pretty much.
Thank you so much. Great tips in such a short amount of time. I always appreciate having someone else that does similar stuff because we can really banter.
Yes.
Marketing's such a big world.
It is.
And it's just going, we want to promote our products, our companies, and where do we put it and who do we help, or who can help us get that promotion?
Absolutely. Well, let's recap the day today. You can stay right here with us. I'm going to have some State Fair cheese curds this weekend. So maybe this weekend. It might be next week. But you got to get it from the Mouse. That's the only one I really get from there, the Mouse House. I don't know if Curd Girl will like it. That's my favorite. And digital marketing, everyone needs to use it. So great show today. What are your thoughts today, Ben?
This is my first time in the new studio setup, and it's really exciting to see how everything's flowing and all the people here in the team and how it takes so many people to provide such a great show, and just it's great to be here. And
We even had the distraction. Not sure if you guys paid attention, but there was a bird that flew into the window. He flew away, so he was okay. That was a little scary. So if you saw me pop, that's why.
So volunteers, thanks so much for helping out today, and thanks everyone for coming today. Join us next week. Our show next week's featuring Scott Graham and Casey St. Henry.
Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
So